What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mama and my granny for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at Max Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. Right now, I know you're looking at the cameras like, where's the other guy? It's four people that host the show. Where could he possibly be? Our brother Black Peace, we bigged him up last episode. Just got the keys to his new home. So he handling business and moving into his new home. Salute to our brother Black Peace. I'm dedicating this episode to you and the family. Congratulations to y'all. Much well deserved for y'all blessing being able to get y'all a new home. So salute, triple salute to home ownership. Yeah, man. But we're gonna hold it down 3-on-3. Y'all know one monkey don't stop no show. We're gonna always hold it down for whoever is in absence. What is a podcast without your brethren?
Big brother Iron Man, Shine Hard. Twitter, Instagram, Shine Hard is coming to, digital wallets near you. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Sedacious Miles, and on behalf of me and my brothers, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting us, rocking with us, subscribing, sharing all of what you do. Um, if you want to know more about the fintech industry moving forward, blockchain, artificial intelligence, all that other stuff, cryptocurrency, get at me at I am
Oh,
Sedacious. That's
bring me.
IAMSEDATAIOUS. And of course, every time I start introducing myself in some manner, Edward just has to interrupt me some kind of way. Take it
I'm
away, Brody.
I'm sorry, bro. I thought I had myself on mute right there. I apologize.
Hey, bring me the yeah, that one.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. And so we didn't touch on this last week, man. Not Sauce Walker. We talked about Sauce Walker, but more other rappers in Houston. D.Flowers and Maxo Kream, man. They squabble. They squabble it out, whatever they differences were. Some people I only seen it was over allegedly a female. Not sure how true that is. Um, However, I was reading the comments, just like from like what was posted when they fought, and I was just like, I wasn't shocked, but it was just like a reminder that like you cannot in any way, shape, or form get caught up in like the hoopla of the internet because the internet like is just fickle as it already is. And I say that meaning if this were to be a situation with D.Flowers and Maxo Cream like shot it out with each other, the comments would have been flooded with, oh, niggas don't want to fight no more. Niggas can't shoot the fair one no more. They shoot the foul one, and the comments say, "What is that? They call that fighting?" And it's just like you can't win with the internet. You can't win with people. Um, but this isn't really been talked about. I don't feel like on outside of us large enough, bigger mainstream platforms from the standpoint that like as far as we know, in the dealings with like Maxo Cream, I forget who the salsa the TSF artist was. Can't think of his name right now. But Maxo Cream, him and the dude, they met up a couple years out. And they squabbled, whatever they beef was about. They fought it out. Everybody went home. Nobody got shot. And then Maxo Cream, another disagreement, whatever the case may be, with like D Flowers and like they box it. They box it out, shoot the foul one. Everybody goes home. Nobody gets shot. But you look at all these other situations within the rap community across the globe. Everybody getting shot for for one reason or another, and I just think like we need to like champion Houston more for just still being able to like get it done the old fashioned way, and not have to plan any funerals and not have to put anybody in jail. Um, But yeah, man, I just want to like highlight that, pay respects to those fellas who like just, you know what I'm saying, like doing what they gotta do as men, fight it out and keep it pushing. But yeah, man, yeah, like, it bothers me that it hasn't really been like widely publicized. Because if one of them were to be headed to jail or one of them had ended up dead or whatever the case may have been, like the Mo 3 situation and the Yellow Beezy situation, it would have been worldwide news. But dudes could conduct themselves like gentlemen, duke it out and keep it pushing, and like you don't really hear little bo peep about it. So that bothered me. We forgot to talk about it last week, but that's been like bothering me in like main media that it hasn't really like got a lot of attention, promotion, especially when we talk about how these YNs around here like been running rapid. Like, what if they actually saw an image like that on a consistent basis and was like, oh, well, let me just go fight this nigga and keep it pushing. But yeah, yeah.
Shout out to D.Flowers. Definitely somebody who we um I won't claim to know him now, but we definitely bumped into each other a few times in our younger days. Um, cool individual. Definitely talented. So, whatever it was about, definitely glad, nothing else came of it.
Yeah, man.
I
So
say, um, I always look at things from a deeper perspective. Uh, I commend them for duking it out like the good old days. But I'd like to see black, young, male public figures um, demonstrate and lead by example more wholesome conflict resolution. I know we have a long way to go. And again, I want to commend them too, because at least they didn't result to gun violence, you know. And I also want to commend them for like representing Houston in a fashion, showing that hey, like all niggas in Houston ain't trying to kill niggas. You know what I'm saying? We still down here fighting, right? You know what I'm saying? Some crazy psychotic testosterone perspective type of way of looking at it, but it is to be respected still in its own right that two young black men are choosing to show, hey, even though we in Texas and we can shoot each other up all we want, this is still how we conduct ourselves because we are still true young, cool, play ass niggas, right? But for me and my culture as a whole, my people as a whole, I'm always going to look at things from the perspective of how could we have done better? You know what I'm saying? What could we have done better? Right? Still give credit where credit is due and and regards as well, but also, still be kind of tinkering and sharpening and yeah, y'all know me. But yeah, that's my take on it.
last week, Sauce Walker was shot alongside one of his artists who ended up being killed from a gunman in Memphis. The gunman who, like I say, shot Sauce Walker and killed his artist has been reported this week to been found dead in the city of Houston, Texas. Coincidence or not?
No, not at all. Come on, stop it. Who believes in coincidence, first of all?
I mean, if it happened one time, it's a coincidence, but twice, I believe the second shooter also was found dead today as well.
Oh, really? The second one? Wow.
Yeah, I ain't hear that
Breaking
news.
it's breaking news for me.
Breaking news, Yellow Beezy got backdoored by his own shooter who ended up being, come on, man, co-defendant turned state on you.
Speaking of
Finna be
Yellow
the
Bees,
lead.
and see,
finna be the lead witness in your paperwork, and he finna be the he got every key to your safe.
Can
So
I?
you brought up Mo3 and
Hypothetically,
you brought up Yellow
hypothetically
Beezy.
speaking.
So do y'all remember the comedian? He was like a dark skinned comedian that was beef for Yellow Beezy.
I think I know you said he had goals.
Yeah. So he was on Vlad saying, say Cheese, one of them, whoever was saying that he wanted to fight. Like, bro, I don't want to
Yeah,
shoot
Roy
because
Lee. Roy
I,
Lee got
Yeah,
killed
Roy
Roy
Lee,
Lee.
because
that's
it
him.
was alleged that Beasley had him knocked too, but back to the Sauce situation. I know you was talking about. I don't think that's a coincidence. Because like I said, he definitely saw Yellow Beezy get backdoored by the guy he hired, to do the hit. And I don't want to implicate, Sauce Walker over over the internet, but it just seemed like somebody really doing their due diligence just in case somebody do want to talk or say something. Dead people can't talk. So, but for both of them, I don't know where the second shooter was killed at. If he was killed in Houston too, that just let me know one, what y'all doing out in Memphis. Definitely, probably leaning towards you know rumors circulating that potentially because Sauce Walker got insurance on all his artists. Potentially it could have been a situation to where it was a money grab for the insurance money on Say So P. But they saying he ran off with. At first I heard 200,000. Now somebody said 300,000. So who knows? But um,
The story will grow, continue. The amount we get larger as the story continues.
I
To
hope
go,
it
I
don't
don't know, bro.
continue. I hope it get cold.
It don't seem right. Me personally,
But you
bro,
know
I
what?
don't
That's
I don't
that's
see
that's
it.
ignorant for me to say for the I wish justice for the family, but I think justice has
I
already
see it.
been kind of served. So
Yeah.
sometimes they don't
I don't.
make it to court, man. Sometimes justice gets served in the streets. So
and I don't think those two individuals murders will roll over to authorities trying to figure out what happened to them. I think it's being did it immediately as a cold case.
but usually when stuff like that happens, the police and it don't go cold. What usually happens is the person that it's in reference to, they usually just start like a surveillance on them to where it's just like.
Right, just let the niggas kill themselves, right?
Like, let's just see what happens in the,
Just let them
months
take
to
each other
come,
out. They don't give a damn.
years, year or two to come, because they don't stop looking at you after a month or a year. They let it, they let it rock out.
The
Clearly, as you can see with the Mo3 case,
we kind of like jumping. I know, well, me bringing this up would kind of be like jumping around, but uh, with those two dudes, did the second guy also Izzo was he found in Houston dead or was it somewhere else?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, with the at least the first guy being found dead in Houston, um, and you look at the Yellow Beezy situation, how it's like 5 years later, and now he's being implicated into the case, to the murder case of Mo3. I would hate to see a situation occur to where X amount of years down the line, where like some kind of way they try to like loop this in to be like this is Sauce Walker retaliating. Um, I obviously don't wish that on Sauce or anything like that. I'm saying that with the thought process of Lil Baby being put into an alleged potential Rico case solely based off like hearsay from like whoever like he may or may not have crossed paths with. And you think about the Young Thug situation and how like the state of Georgia just pretty much like wasted taxpayers' money and looked at like fools in the end trying to imprison Young Thug, and that didn't work. And now, for whatever reason, like Lil Baby name is now being thrown into another Rico charge. And it's like for me outside looking in, it's just like they take anybody who may be facing a lot of time and they're like, hey, if you say you know Young Thug, or hey, if you say you know Lil Baby, you can find us on we could work with you. And now all of a sudden said rapper is in like some type of Rico case. And so it just seems like annoying. It seems like you would like to not believe these dudes is like still getting like caught up in like the streets, considering like where they are at in life. But sometimes no matter how far you get, the streets is all you know. So I get that component to it. But going back to this Mo 3 thing, so dude you paid allegedly paid um could very well much so be getting ready to take the stand and single you out and say he the one who gave me the money, right? Uh, is it? I don't know if y'all know the answers to this. Is it cut and dry enough for whoever the shooter was to just get on the stand and say Yellow Beezy paid me and like that be it of the case? Yellow Beezy's like done for eternity. Or does Yellow Beezy's defense attorneys get to prove this nigga lying? We ain't paid him. We have no relation to him now whatsoever.
Only
Because
thing about that is they have records of a withdrawal of
I seen that, yeah.
certain, but it's like you could argue now if he really was thorough, you could argue like, hey, I went and bought a car that day. Like I could show you, you know what I'm saying? Like I went and bought some jewelry, or I went and bought you know what I mean? Anything. Like I wouldn't actually use that money for this, and I have record of that. So this guy's really just in a sad attempt to bring me down with, you know what I mean? I don't know how to be able to spin it, but the boy, he got some of the, best money that,
I
I
also
think
look
that's
at
a
it.
deciding factor on the case. That's pretty much what the case will be. The case will be, this is the evidence that we have as the DA. What do you have as the alibi for the defense attorney? And so, unless Yellow Beezy has something with a receipt of 40,000 without tax in cash, he's done, because there's nothing that you can legitimately do that does not have a paper trail to it, right? So since that's the case, why is there a $40,000 deposit made and you have no documentation, no paper trail on that? And this guy is saying that you paid him to do what it is that he did to this guy, and you are the rapper who was beefing with this guy to do so.
I
So if defense ain't got nothing up against that,
do you
he out of
think
there, brother.
do you think the district attorneys, do you think, let's say this is also another side that I'm thinking about, right? Hypothetically, let's say Yellow Beezy had absolutely nothing to do with this, right? But let's just say, for the sake of argument, the district attorneys feel like we can't prove it, but we feel like you got something to do with this. And just to make sure you don't get off, or let's say Yellow Beezy got away with some stuff in the past that the DAs couldn't get on. Let's say they went to the shooter and said, hey, um, you pretty much got life here, buddy.
Oh, you know that's what they did.
But
Oh yeah,
We
we
could
know that's a good G.
possibly
Come on,
work
bro.
with you. We could possibly work
Bro,
with you. Maybe parole, maybe
that's the
not
story
life.
every time.
Maybe all right, look, give you 30 years, you say yellow bees
25 to
get
30.
paid.
Yes, sir. 25 to 30.
You say yellow, you get on the stand and you point yellow bees out. Give you a light 30. How does that sound?
25 to 30, parole in 15.
So
25 to
I
30.
also wonder if Yellow Beezy got pulled into this because of situations such as that. But I don't know. That's hypothetically. Like I'm not dedicating my life to reading all the court documents and so on and so forth. And let me also say this: this has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. But you niggas out there in this world who ain't never read a book in your life, but you take out the time to read court documents trying to determine whether or not a nigga is a snitch, you niggas is weirdos. Like,
Yeah. Um, I I don't know though. He gonna be in PC the whole time. And if he make it to parole, because well, I see, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. I don't know. Because see, I don't know. I don't know how much pull um Yellow Beezy got, right? So I don't know.
yeah, man. Uh,
But
yeah,
niggas ain't going to jail for a body that ain't in their heart for real. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas happy to go to jail if you fuck with their family, fuck with their people, but they're not finna go to jail for a body that they was finna get for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's easy. That's easy. That's an easy get out of free jail card. Like for real. Like it's some whole shit. Excuse my language. It's some whole shit because it's not playing, bro. But it is what it is. That's the game, bro. That's the game. Whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say just rap. I say just rap. You know what I mean? But I understand what it means to rap what you live about. You know what I'm saying? But it's the living out part that I always like, damn, man. Damn, y'all. Really hip hop got us messed up, but it's us. It's us. What can we do?
yeah, man. Yeah. All right. So going over to the NFL. Uh, Cleveland Browns owner says we took a big swing and we missed with Deshaun. Um, I was Deshaun had came across my feed the other day, and I think he's doing like a documentary of himself and just like the trials and tribulations and so forth. And him just trying to come back from the injuries. I don't know if the documentary will address any of the off the field stuff, but uh after I seen it, he was like promoting teasing like a documentary that's in the works of like him making his comeback and stuff like that from the injuries. This news came out with the owner. Uh, Mind you, Deshaun Watson, $230 million guarantee contract as he was traded from the Texans to the Cleveland Browns. Um, with these remarks from the owner himself, uh, how much longer do you think Deshaun Watson will be in the NFL? Because it's like there was always, well, there's maybe after this past season, people probably wrote him off. I mean, like our last vision of him on the football field was like tearing his Achilles and like getting carted off the field as he's like crying with so many emotions, right? And I feel like for Deshaun, there's all because of the contract has always given him like a fighting chance Sunday after Sunday after Sunday because obviously they invested this money in you and whether they like to or not, they have to see if there's a glimpse of hope for them to get a return on their investment with you being their franchise quarterback. So despite Deshaun obviously not being the Deshaun Watson of old with the Houston Texans, I feel like he still had a fighting chance to win the people over, rack up some wins, be able to just prove himself to still be a formidable quarterback in the NFL. But I feel like now with these comments by the owner, it's pretty much said, the hell with you. I don't give a damn how much money we gave you. You are not our guy. And from an owner's perspective, you tend to like to believe for them to be politically correct or just completely like play to the shadows. But the owner is just straight out like, and we've had it with this nigga. Like, no, he ain't our guy. He's not our guy. We miss with him. I think Deshaun maybe got like 3 more years on his contract. Maybe I'm not sure. But I feel like these comments was maybe like the first domino the to fall. If not, if you're not talking about his play, maybe the second domino with the off the field stuff. But I feel like this is a marquee domino to fall that's going to start to push Deshaun Watson out of the league. Does Deshaun Watson make a comeback from these comments? Is it as simple as he just need to find a new organization, or is it a lost cause with him trying to salvage his career?
And this shit over with, bro. I mean, I don't even think it's really much to say. I mean, people got to remember he tore his ACL twice in college. He tore it again in the NFL, and now the Achilles done. And then you were selling yourself prior to like taking a year and some change off from football because you hated the Texans so bad. And I get it. You may or may not have gotten done wrong. But unfortunately, things come to light and it didn't paint you in the most um, vividly, candidly. It was a bullshit perspective, man. The picture that was painted wasn't too good, man. And you just, I don't know if it was a true show of his character. I still believe in Deshaun Watson, the person, the player. Not really so much, and that's kind of sad to say. But especially at this day and age, where you really damage goods at this point because on top of being damaged goods, you weren't that good your last 3 years, and you haven't been able to stay healthy. So I think Deshaun Watson may have a future, maybe a couple more years as a backup, but then after that, like I don't foresee anybody's like just taking another chance on him saying he can still be that franchise guy. Because I think right now Deshaun may be what 28, 29.
29.
I mean, in quarterback year, you're still young, but again, because of the injury history, it's just, and then with with the civil cases that's following you, and it's just, I don't know, the talent when people can really replace you, the antics outweigh the play on the field, which is kind of been that way for some years now. Man, you expendable, man. They just was married to you because they paid you all that money. But I think it's some language in that contract to where they can void some of those due to injury because he's obviously I don't believe he's going to play at all this upcoming season. So they are looking into ways to try to avoid some of that money so they aren't on the hook for the entire 230 million. But I don't know what they can do from a legality perspective. But the son cooked, man. Shit over with, respectfully.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that no better myself. I think maybe I can't say how many years as a backup, but I think he'll transition into, like how you just be watching the game one day and then they'll pan the camera to the roster and you'll be like, oh, I didn't even know Deshaun Watson was still in the league.
But
They
he may have a Jameis Winston type arc in regards to transitioning to a backup role, but I don't know if he's going to be as loving as inviting both, Christian men for sure.
I
But I
think
don't know.
I think Deshaun is like in that Cam Newton ilk of like you're too much of a polarizing figure to be on the sideline. Like you being on the sideline as a backup is going to draw more attention on you as opposed to Hey, what about our starting quarterback? Let's talk
Uh,
about him. At least that's how I view
uh,
Deshaun to be personally.
well, I mean, I feel like the some of the prestige on him has kind of worn down, or I guess not prestige, like some of the excitement about Deshaun Watson. So yeah, back in his Texans days when he was doing that, maybe because I guess he was a household name for real. But now ain't nobody really checking for him lately. So like I said, I just feel like you just randomly see him on a team one day and be like, oh shit, when he become their third string?
Yeah, man. Sticking with the NFL, NFL coming into this new season has two rule changes that they made. The first rule change is that the overtime rules and the regular season will change. So with the overtime playoff rules, which simply means both teams get a chance to score, whereas in the regular season, it's pretty much whoever scores first, that's who wins. The team who doesn't win the coin toss going into overtime doesn't get a chance to get the ball back. Um, if the opposing team scores a touchdown, but the rule that has been changed now to in the regular season, both teams get a chance to score. So if you don't get the ball initially out the gate on the coin toss, it's not the end of the world. You get a chance to also score, and the overtime will be 10 minutes. Um, the second rule change is they're now integrating camera computer technology to do the measuring the spot of the ball on like close calls with first downs. Um,
Thank God.
but talking about the rule change first, or I don't know, that's for you, like with those two rule changes, like which one do you feel like will have like the biggest impact on the season this upcoming year?
That's hard to say, bro. Sheesh, for me, because I feel like all referees in basketball, NFL and the NBA, all of them be old, right? And I be feeling like maybe they vision ain't the best, or I don't know what it is. I know they get professional training and the best top-notch training, but it just be looking like where y'all be at for real, for me. And so, um, using computer technology for a more precise spot for a first down that or a touchdown, that's going to be key because sometimes the ball is hidden and you aren't able to really see where it is, the positioning, and the ref will take it and take it a yard and a half back. And at the same time, bro, to not have walk-off touchdowns is like, okay, well, now your defense got to defend our offense. And if we got to, we'll just keep going back and forth like this college.
I think the most impactful rule change is going to be the OT rules with both teams being able to possess the ball in overtime. But I I think the most I don't think it's a rule change yet, but it's gotten halted by the competition committee. Is the Packers proposing a ban of the tush push? Um,
How do y'all feel about that? Y'all like it or y'all
I
want it?
don't like it because everybody has the exact same opportunity to do the exact same thing as the Eagles. Nobody can do it though. It's actually it's been tried to be mimicked. This past year, if you've seen it, and people just don't have the offensive line that the Philadelphia Eagles have.
Oh,
And
you're
you're
saying, I'm sorry, you're saying you don't agree with them trying to ban
No, I
it.
don't agree with them trying to ban it. It
Okay,
ain't like
okay,
they
okay.
cheating. It's man on man. Like, and I get it. Like, they get, and I don't want to hear, man, they get so low and they do this and they do that. Man, they lining up just like you lining up.
I could be wrong just for the sake of argument to defend banning it. Is there, I think some people argue that the advantage with the tush push is the fact that the defensive side or the defensive line can't really gain leverage because the nucleus of the play is hovering directly over center and you can't line up over center as the defensive lineman. something along those parameters.
Where do all sneaks happen though? Like again, like, and yeah, you can't line head up over the center. That's just a rule in football anyway. But it's just like again, if you know that the ball is going into the middle of the field, it's no different than a fullback dive, a halfback dive. You know what I mean? Or like I don't get it. Like they bleed just like how you bleed, man. And I feel like other teams would be as mad if they offense could perform it and get away with it, just like the
This
Eagles
is
can.
this is this is where I think I'm
People don't
I'm
have the personnel to do that, bro. They don't have the
I'm
offensive line.
okay. I'm gonna keep playing devil's advocate for being against the tush push. If you force me to say what's the problem with the tush push, I think the tush push when you watching it, the play doesn't end until the offense has gained whatever yard they need. There's no like I haven't seen it too many, maybe once, but I can't remember vividly where it's just like, oh, that's how you strategically stop the touch push. Where there's been instances where like obviously you getting like mucked up and you trying to the lineman, offensive defensive lineman going against each other, but it's like the play is never blown in the. I think it was the Lions who may have failed at the touch push, but at least for the Eagles' sake, like the play is never blown dead in favor of the defense, where it's just like, hey, y'all done been standing up for the past 6 seconds. We just to blow this dead. It's like the play don't never the play never gets blown dead until the offense gets the yard that they need.
I,
Uh,
that ain't true because they didn't got stood up before. People done stood up against it. It's rare, but again, it's just they have a offensive line that's really that just pump people on a daily basis. Like I see it. Like they're just more physically dominant and they impose their will on defensive line. And defense can have. Last time I checked, you can have five down linemen. You can add people to the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
in theory, you could get behind directly behind your defensive tackles, and you can go goal line. You know what I mean? It's things you could do to prevent that, but can you stop it? People just bitch, man. I can't. I hate the NFL sometimes now, man. They just moan and groan about every little thing. And, oh, they took push too good. Can you ban it? Cause we can't stop it. Like the Packers just they so pussy for that, bro. They will never win. They're not gonna be winning their division anytime soon. Jordan Love regressed a little last year. Those receivers that were, you know, so hard to cover because you didn't know really who was gonna be receiving the ball and the great scheme of LeFleur. It just seemed as though, people got more film on you now, man. And not to say he's not a talented player, but I said all that to say, like, if y'all focus more on actual scheme and getting better than complaining, maybe you could stop it. But no, you taking time out in the offseason, going to the competition committee to complain. So,
They play the Eagles this year at home.
oh
That'll,
man.
that'll be a fun game.
And I hope they go for it too if it don't get played also.
Every play, every
And then
short
Jalen Hurts. Let's
distance.
give Jalen Hurts some credit. Like the quarterback out the age on squat 600 pounds, man. Stop it, bro. Stop. Stop.
Knock it
Your
off.
quarterback don't do that. He can't do that.
Knock it off.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really what it is. They
That's
really
really
hating
what
on
it
the
is
fact
if we
that
being
they
real,
are
bro.
bullies
Like
up there.
Jalen is like lower body wise, probably the stronger of quarterbacks that we have in the league. I can't even think of anybody who on that level just comes out and pops out in my head in regards to just a sheer physical strength
Yeah.
standpoint of I haven't heard of any quarterbacks squatting 400 pounds, let alone six. So it's just like, come on, man. It's just different.
um, yeah.
And then you got Saquon Barkley pushing him.
Even before then, it was unstoppable. So it just
Right.
leads me to believe what are the constants, right? A few players on
Yeah.
that offensive
Jalen
line,
Hurts.
and really Jalen Hurts. Because that offensive line ain't the same from when they started to do it. because they tried to say, oh, well, Kelsey is an All Pro center. He, going to the Hall of Fame, rightfully so. But it's just like, nah, we doing this without him. So I'm like, okay, what's the common denominator still?
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts, bro.
Yeah. Nah. So if you haven't heard, I'm sure you've heard about it. If you listen to our podcast, we probably relatively have some of the same content crossing our feed. So, fellas, how did y'all feel about Marvin Sapp going viral for trying to get a 40 ball out of the church?
I have a very strong opinion about that, and I might get on my soap. I probably just need 2 minutes, so I'm gonna try to address it
I
from.
I clear out ISO.
Now, I just feel like people love to take things out of context, and they don't even really care to understand the context that it was stated in, because a lot of people that have come out of the woodworks, in my opinion, are, oh, you see, that's why I don't go to church right there. You see that, man? He asking for, you know what I mean? So you kind of got that crowd of people who really just looking, they witch hunting for something with the church, regardless of what's happening, just a point to just, I guess give people a notion of why they choose to, or why they choose not to, attend or do, those things of that nature. But um, he actually came on the Breakfast Club in the morning, and I actually don't listen to the radio at all. But I was in the car um, with my girlfriend, and we were listening to it, and I got a chance to listen to some of it on there, and he talked about how he was at a convention, and that in that convention, those were the same people that actually helped catapult him into the position that he is today within his music career. It's the same convention that helped give him the platform that he has today in order to be a multiple time platinum, Grammy award winning, artist and things like that. And I think what was the mandate, and I think because we grown up in the church, so we've been in situations not where Pastor said lock the door,
40
but
man.
they trying to, they got a goal that they're trying to meet. And I think it was said in this, I don't know if he said lock the door, but he said
No, he's
close
like close the
he said
doors, yeah.
close the doors, right? And it's meant to deter walking and distractions around the time of giving. And if you go to church, you know these things. It wasn't a fire marshal impingement of people's movement, of them literally not being able to physically leave the building. You know what I mean? It was meant to be a call of reverence in regards to, hey, we got a goal that we knew we had to meet coming into this. I'm charging all people physically here and online to sow a seed of $20, and I believe leaders were charged with sowing a seed of $40.
100. Well, the dudes in the pews, he said, y'all we giving 100.
Yeah, never they were saying like the leaders we're actually giving 100, and they asking the people in the pews and the people that were online if y'all could sow a seed of $20. And it was like, with the amount of people in here, if we do that, we will exceed our goal, right? So it's all in context. That money wasn't going directly into Marvin Sapp's hand, and he let people know on the interview, right? Like, I've been blessed enough to be, vocational to where, pastoring isn't my only source of income. I'm an artist. I have real estate. I do stocks. You know what I mean? Like, I've been blessed to be put in a position to where, I'm not panhandling people for money, but we are trying to raise money in regard. And he spoke candidly about, how he had given, like he had tithe at a specific church for a certain amount of years, and was able to. I think he was pastoring a church in Michigan, and he left the church debt free and was able to put them in a position to where they could, you know,
Mm-hmm.
live on and move on, without him. So it was just, in my opinion, um, again, the people that wanted to see the, oh, see, that's that, yeah, that, yeah, man, that
It's
nigga be
like
making money, bro.
you
He
trying to
hustling
single
us.
out that one moment to justify your disconnect with the church.
Exactly, and people, and I get it. People may have had some ill experiences with the church, and you may have met some people in the church that have hurt you, right? So it's just like, it's all about finding where you belong because I think we're going into the preaching portion of the of the part to where people be like, oh well, I can believe in God and not go to church and I worship and granted, yes, you can worship at home and you could pray at home, but God has a specific way in which He wants us to do things and go about things. And it also says in the Bible, obedience is better than sacrifice. And in the Bible, it also states, like, forsake ye not the assembly of God and His people, right? So it sounds like it says, hey, nigga, don't forget to go to church. And because God is a God of fellowship, He made us with that spirit as well. So when people become closed off, and I get it, you can be people can be more social than others, right? But in our nature, right, when we're operating and vibrating at our highest capacity and our fullest potential, fellowship is good. It's not good. God didn't create man for us to be closed off and sectioned off by ourselves. He meant for us to be in stepping in tune with other believers and being in community to where you help and grow. Because again, it also says in the Bible, iron sharpens iron as though man sharpens another man. So again, it just goes to show that like you can't do this walk alone, especially if you call yourself a real believer. You know what again? So it's like people can have opinions on what they say about God, but it's just like, what does God say about God? What is the character of God? What does He say in His Word about how we should be trying to go about doing things? And kind of steered away from the topic, but on the Marvin Sapp specifically about asking people to give $20. Man, y'all pay more for bottles when y'all go to the club. Man, $20 used to be a gram of weed back in the grip. Like, what are we talking about, bro? What legitimately are we talking about? Do you because really what you just showing me the hand of like just tell me you hate the church without telling me like because you're looking for a reason to winch hunt because $20 ain't nothing because if we being real like $20 ain't even parking at the club. $20 may get you half a tank. And you know what I mean? In today's economy, like what are we really talking about for real? Was it just a hang up on words on ushers, please close the door? Like, cause again, it sound witch hunting to me in regards to people willing to hang out there without context. Because again, uh, F the truth, that don't make for a good story. We need something to
Oh
be
yeah.
mad at. We need something to be in
Mm.
in enraged with in regards to the church. But it's crazy to me, dog.
It's like the fun. It's like the quote that goes, "Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining."
Exactly.
Um, and so I've heard the perspective from like a pastor before talking about the struggles with being at a large church is that the congregation, like Lord, on the outside looking in, you think a large church doesn't struggle financially because, oh, they have a large congregation. But what happens is the members of that large
They like,
congregation,
man, we
they
got so many
all,
people that go here.
I,
I ain't gotta give.
right. And so, like, if everybody is thinking, oh, they got it, and they leave and they go home, and it's 1,000 of us that go to this church, and like we only mustered up $217 for offering, you just like, you just like I can't give 10% of nothing, Lord.
Right.
So like, yeah, initially watching it, it was just like I didn't know if he was the if he was pastoring over that church, and then like I heard like after the fact, it's like, oh, this was a conference, so on and so forth.
Exactly. It was a conference and they were trying to raise money for the conference that they hold every year in
I
regards to
will say that I wasn't sure about the dynamics of that because somebody said they was trying to raise money or make money from the conference or whatever the case may be. Like that kind of like made me like start to like grow like curious. It was like, what do you mean trying to like make money for the conference? I wasn't really sure from that because I would think that if people were at the conference, they had already paid whatever registry,
but we
blase.
don't know that. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah. We don't know those details. So like that, I was kind of thinking about like, what you mean, like make money for the conference or whatever. But um, I do think that I think that was a one important uh point that you brought up and like people using it as a using that situation to bash the church and try to justify like their disconnect with their church or whatever they came
And
from and
bro,
their relationship with God.
another
Um,
another thing is too, it's also been like a negatively perpetuated notion of like when you serve the Lord and you serve God, like you have to be poor while doing it. Like why do we associate like Christianity with being poor, or you know what I mean? Like if God is the he said I own the cattle on 1,000 hill and everything in the earth is mine and the fullness thereof. So God is telling me he's rich in abundance and glory, quite literally in physical, attainable, tangible things. Bob also states, I come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. He didn't specify a specific area of your life in which you can experience abundance. So if I'm thinking of the word abundance, I'm thinking of abundance in my health, abundance,
multifaceted abundance.
multifaceted. It is not boxed in or bubbled into just one particular thing. And it's just like, oh, oh, you want to be attractive for God, right? I think it's a thin line between being show offy, right? um and parading your wealth and like dangling it in people's faces, or dangling money in people's faces, than like having a frugal approach to money and still being blessed, right? And still walking in a certain type of humility to where it's not loud, right?
Mhm.
I think you can do that, but it's just like we gotta disassociate the idea of, okay, because we in the church, like, like if it ain't okay for the
And
church
it's
to have money, who is it okay for it to have money? You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, and
who's supposed to
like
have the
and
money? Like
and also too,
I
it's
don't
just like
understand.
and it's not just church people, people in general, even away from like a spiritual religious component, like people in general just have bad relationships with money and for whatever reason. And so like certain dollar amounts like trigger people, you know what I'm saying? And I mean you also brought up another good point, like yo, you gonna go spend 20 over here, over there, and some of y'all piss off $20 throughout the week because y'all don't know where it went, you know what I'm saying? And
Bro,
also too, you should want to contribute or help take care of God's house, right? From that standpoint.
people don't care, bro. Like they don't look at it
But
like it costs to do ministry. Like in order to give back and really be like a staple in the community where you are,
yes, yeah,
bro, it costs money. Like it don't just like money is a vehicle and an instrument that is used in order to propel and move God's kingdom forward. Like,
yes. And I would say, and I want to say this too, like, um, all pastors out there who see this situation, you may be feeling, if you're feeling whatever you're feeling like, damn, I gotta watch how I talk to my congregation, or I'm scared to ask for money. Or some pastors who rather be prideful or rather just suffer in silence and let the church go under, go into bankruptcy and get confiscated by the banks and so on and so forth. Because you may feel like, oh, we streaming, I don't want to go viral, or people think I'm trying to shake down my congregation. One thing, me and my wife, we was talking about this, and obviously, like us all growing up in the same church together, having the same pastor. Shout out to Pastor Shannon T. Oliver, Calvary Missionary Baptist Church, H Town. You know what I'm saying? Off McGallion Road, off Tillwell. If you're looking for a church home. But one thing I could appreciate from pastor is obviously it was, I believe that was like Hurricane Ike where we got displaced off of Yale. Then we had to uh rent or share a church with somebody else off airline, and because of that our congregation dwindled and like scattered, and then we literally seen the church on McGallion get resurrected from the ground up. And because like we are or were a relatively small congregation, it's just like, yo, bills and certain things had to be paid for us to be able to maintain and upkeep this church. And again, if you're a pastor and you're trying to figure out like, well, how do I properly, or the best way to go about saying, hey, we need XYZ to keep the lights on or pay the mortgage this week. One thing I appreciate about pastor, and which is why I never like felt no type of way or felt like he was trying to shake us down was like he was one always transparent about what and why we needed it. And I think if you're a pastor in those types of situations, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just moving solely, man, I can't tell you how to move if God is telling you to move a certain way, but I just know for our pastors, like I believe he was always just transparent about what and why we needed it. And it was never just, hey, everybody in here, God told me I want all y'all in here to give me $50 and just leave it at you know what I'm saying. I don't pastor was it has never been like that. As far as I've been on them, and it's just, like I say, it's just been always been a transparency of like, hey, this is what we need, this is why we need it, these are our current circumstances. Come help us if it is on your heart to do so. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you kind of go about it like in that way, that maybe kind of maybe makes people more open to wanting to give an extra offering and so on and so forth. But like I say, man, like shout out to Pastor. He was always just transparent and like just open about the circumstances. And it was never just out the blue. I feel in my spirit, Lord want everybody to come up here and give 50. I'm like, go for what? Like Pastor just always is upfront about whatever it is we needed. And I think that's how you got to be if you're a pastor, like trying to, like to avoid situations like Marvin Sapp found himself in. But yeah,
It's zesty, if you ask me, um, to use the pulpit to be like a petty Negro is it's a little zesty to me. You know what I'm saying? Um, I really don't want to speak too much on it because I'm ashamed, but I shouldn't be ashamed. But for you know the people who really trying to win souls for Christ, who really trying to do the work. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I'm not judging nobody. I'm only just judging the actions. And it's just distasteful for you to get caught behaving that way. And
you talking about who,
What are you
like who,
talking about?
like you saying it's distasteful for who to get caught? Like who you talking about?
oh, we're not still talking about Marvin Sapp?
Well, then I don't like. I'm so we was
Yeah,
talking
we trying to
about the
figure out like what
preachers and
like what's your
congregation. Like we was trying to figure out like who specifically you were saying is distasteful to be acting like such. You talking about Marvin Sapp, or you talking about the congregation, people online?
yeah like who you talking about acting like who was distasteful?
I didn't appreciate Marvin Sapp's actions.
Okay.
I didn't appreciate them. Me personally.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but we were just no, you good with continuing to talk. We was just trying to figure out who you was talking about. That's all.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I sound crazy. I don't know, but
No, you
yeah,
don't
I think
sound crazy. We just didn't know who exactly you were finding fault with, the people or the pastor. That's all we was trying to understand.
nah, bro. That ain't never been the way you go about it, big dog. Ain't never been, bro. See, and what I hate is like all of the pastors who have been working on this for so long to where they are damn near begging, but they're not begging. They don't even go as they didn't got skilled enough to not have to use enforcement. But you was just like, I'm so big, I think I can use enforcement in the Lord's house. And I'm
Mm.
like, my nigga, whoa, nigga, whoa, nigga, you have gotten beside yourself, child of God. Come on, man. Leadership, and they know the cost. Like, bro, like you really did the whole act and the whole dramatics and all that shit. We all gonna leave together. Together, nigga. Stop trying to make us family because you asking me for money, my nigga. That's
Mm.
one. We're gonna leave together, and then try to shame me. You ain't going nowhere but to the restaurant. And everybody behind you, all your minions behind you laughed at.
I'm not gonna lie though, in this day and age with inflation, your last 20, that's asking for a lot.
And everybody on the internet was like, let me have seen a
I ain't gonna
hustler.
lie though. I love that Sedacious is taking that that's his perspective and that's his reality of the situation. But how is it any different? Like again, like I don't know if you because from I ain't gonna lie, from me knowing what I know about you, it sounds like you don't know the full context of what was going on because I don't think it's no different than when Pastor asks everybody to come outside if it's offer time and like we got people outside smoking cigarettes or people posting up or you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. Like it's it was a it was.
his intent, I think, forgive me if I'm like not saying what you're trying to say, but it's just like
Oh, I'm gonna say what
I
I gotta say. I'm gonna just let you say what you gotta say.
I feel like it's the internet that took it and as it always does made it out to be what it wasn't. Like I don't think his intentions
Because
was
what I know
like
you to be today is a believer, and eh, I'm not gonna lie to you. $20, that's a gram of weed, my nigga. $20, that's parking at the club. $20,
Yeah.
that ain't nothing, bro. Like, and then it ain't even the fact that because I don't really have a problem with what he did. I think context is everything. I think what turned people off was the ushers. Can you close the doors? And I think it was just to deter people from walking. And he explained it. The reason I know so much about it because I heard the interview that he gave on the Breakfast Club when he came on in the morning. And he just gave a lot of context behind it because he was saying at the time it was a lot of people that were walking around and walking in the sanctuary. And typically, before you give, people like to get everybody in the sanctuary because you want people to
you
be.
don't want people to miss out.
You don't want people to miss out on that part of it because people think again it's such a taboo, touchy subject in a church with money. Ministry costs. You need money, and he was explaining what exactly they were raising the money for. It was actually a fundraiser, and I'm assuming people were led and knew something prior to because he was saying like, hey, the leadership already committed to all the leaders up here. We're giving 100. We asking for the people in the audience, and if you on stream to sow a seed of $20 if you can. Not nigga, give me $20 or your ass can't leave. Nobody was. It wasn't like a fire marshal problem of the niggas
Yeah,
like
that's the internet. That's
locking
the
niggas up like
internet.
they
Yeah.
locked the doors of the church and niggas physically couldn't leave. It wasn't
That's
nothing like that. It wasn't nothing like
And
that.
I'm glad you heard the interview because that gives it its proper value and context and
Exactly.
in its lens and its scope. And like how
People
I
were free
started,
to leave if you
yeah,
needed to
like
do
just how I started out
anything.
talking about D.Flowers and Maxo Kream and how you can't get caught up in the internet. This is another case in point where like you can't get caught up in like the internet taking and manipulating and
Because what we
curating
do know about
stories.
people is that they hate God and they hate God's people, and they were looking for anything to say, "Hi, see, I told you that wrong if with the church now. That's wrong if with pastors now. Nigga come begging for money, he locking us in the church. I would have stood up." I'm not saying you thinking that, but I'm saying I've heard other people have
No,
a
no, no.
very
I feel
ignorant.
you. And the stance that I take is don't get caught slipping, man of God. Don't get caught slipping like that, especially on the internet, man of God.
I
I
could
feel
clip anything, but bro, I'm pretty sure if a nigga clip pastor what he said or something, they would take it all the way out of context. So I could
oh
clip you.
yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I could clip you up for a minute and a half and leave out the rest of the 38 minutes that you was talking.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And it's just, and
yeah.
I paint a picture of, damn,
That's the
this nigga
internet.
is, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's just
yeah.
like, people didn't care to want to
And in
get to
this
know the real story
society,
because the lie sounded so juicy. Why get the truth? Fuck the context.
this is entertaining. The lie is
Are
entertaining.
you not entertained? This is
Yeah.
better than the
Well, see,
truth.
the thing is, the close the doors comment is it's like even with the tone, right? The tone doesn't suggest, hey,
Come.
the tone doesn't suggest, hey, I'm having an issue with people walking around, going in and
It
out, not
actually
really
did
paying
sound
attention
like
to
he
me,
had
not
an
taking the
issue.
serious.
That's why he was like, close the door. That nigga sounded pissed to me a
Right?
little bit.
He sounded like, bro, I'm really ready to, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if we
so
were
it's
in
like,
there, and again, I don't know the context. What if I ain't even trying to make it seem? I don't know. Marvin said. Marvin said don't pay none of my bills. So I mean, I'm not trying to defend a nigga to the death, but to me, I think it was just overblown,
You
and the people
defending the
who are
church.
overblowing it are the same people that's making memes about it. If I see you this, that mean I want the money that you owe me. You know what I'm saying? It be like
Yeah,
I be trying to
nah.
tell people too. I don't think this is one of them. You got to be careful playing with the man of God, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You gotta be careful with doing that. So I try not to, especially with the spirit I heard about it in the context, because I don't know if you were biased when I was explaining, but like in the interview, he was saying that they were actually at a conference and a convention with a goal in mind. Like there was a certain money
Mm,
goal in the convention that everybody in attendance knew about. So I don't know if around the time when it was actually time to give, people started, you know how it is.
yeah.
Niggas get up and walk around, niggas finna go up and shoot at
Mm,
some, niggas finna go smoke a shit.
yeah.
Unfortunately, yes, that happens.
I ain't got no money this Sunday, so let me go
You
ahead
know
and
what I'm
move
saying? And
around.
that's cool though. Like again, I don't think the ushers wasn't at the door, baby. You got I died for you know what I'm saying? They ain't doing it, bro. They wasn't doing it.
yeah, no, I feel you, and I appreciate that, and I always do. It's just we got to be careful of when we got to be careful of the times, especially in public, when we become of this world.
So since see if I can give a specific date because I'm about to help some betters out there. I really want to help y'all uh because I know what it's like to be fed up with prize picks. So I have not been able to withdraw from prize picks. The last time I withdrew from prize picks was November 20th of 2024. And I had left 100 and I had $150 in my account since the last time I withdrew from prize picks back in November. And since that time, for the past 4 months, prize picks has withheld my funds. I had got on the phone or got on like the live chat with countless amounts of Prize Picks employees to no avail, saying, "Hey, check this email. Hey, make sure you update your app. Hey, make sure you update your payment. Hey, update a PayPal account, so on and so forth." Have went through all of that back and forth nonsense of really feeling like Prize Picks stalled me out because I'm somebody who tries his best to not deposit in the prize picks and just play with house money as much as I can without having to deposit. And at first I thought it was just a me thing, but I looked on like Twitter and everywhere, and I see that I'm not the only one who it feels like, oh man, and I've been down bad with my money just sitting in prize picks, like I say, since November, the past 4 months. And I see other people like, oh man, prospects, prospects, they've been holding my money for 9 months, a year. Like I still ain't got my money. I'm trying to get another account. Woo, woo, woo. And I just want to say, Steven, employee at Prize Picks, I don't know if you're gonna lose your job for giving me my account back, bruh. But nonetheless, I appreciate you. And I've been on YouTube and everything. I've been like trying to find like, bro, it's got to be a way to crack this code to get my money back, bro. And because in at first, and like we didn't talk about it, me, you, Dashes, me and Eisen talked about it. Um, Even like been trying to get Izzo to use the VIP access to get them to press that button to get just give me my money, bro. I'll go on by my business. Just give me my money back. Uh, and my pride would not let me continue to bet knowing I could not withdraw because I feel like that was them like just fucking with me to be like, hey, you can win all day, but we're not gonna let you actually withdraw this money. So just stayed down, stayed disciplined, just didn't touch it, just kept being persistent, emailing, customer chat, live support. And I have not been, I have the code. I have the hack to getting your money back. I figured it out. I found it out. Really should be charging a fee. Um, but if you watch this, if you are a fan of this podcast and you do engage with Prize Picks, I mean, consider this a free discount for watching a podcast this long. Um, it all came down to uh re-verifying my account with my photo or passport ID and getting them to update my account with a new email. Because for whatever reason, I've been on Prospect since 2022, and for whatever reason, like my email, like I just stopped getting confirmation codes to my email for whatever reason. Don't know why. Um, but again, shout out to Steven. Went through all that troubleshooting, so on and so forth. And it just boiled like if you in the situation I was in, you can't get your money out of Prize Picks, you feel like they freezing your account and so on and so forth. When you talk to live support, say, hey, this is the problem. Tell them you've been trying everything. Ask them, can you one, can they send you like the verification link so you can verify that you are who you are, trying to get access to your funds, and then ask them, can you just update your email if you're not able to get a confirmation code to like your original email after you verify your identity with them. Say, hey, can y'all update my account with the new email with the new email account for me to be able to, you know what I'm saying, be able to get the one-time password code to when you do the withdrawal. So that is the sauce. Uh, when it happened, it made sense, I think, because I want to say, Izzo, you say somebody had hacked your account before, and you had to like start over with like a new email code or something like that. I feel like,
Like, I had to make another account.
oh, you had to, so I didn't have to go that far. But okay, then maybe it's obviously you got hacked, so it's not completely the same thing. But that is the prize pick sauce to those out there. Whatever you do, I remain respectful with live support. I know some of y'all be crashing out on live support, and prize picks only kills your account officially from that standpoint. So I kept it cordial, kept it respectful. Uh, I lost count in the 4 months how many live support folk I was like I kept getting in contact with. But Steven, Prize Picks, give Steven a raise. Appreciate you finally giving me that one tip that all them
We
other
not applauding a fish for swimming. Should have been had my boy lit.
yeah,
But shout
yeah,
out for
yeah,
doing
nah.
y'all job.
Shout out for actually doing your job because all the other live support folk I spoke
Yeah,
to.
we're not actually doing nothing crazy, just your job.
Yeah, I mean, but all of that said to say this, I'm back. I'm back. We are back, baby. Getting the tail end of this March Madness, right in time for the playoffs. You know what I mean? So yeah, feels good, man. Feels good to be back. Um, yeah, but beautiful people. That is what you call a great episode. Thank y'all for listening. Please, sincerely, please, from the depths of all of our hearts, even the depths of Black Peace's heart, please like this. Please share this. And if you can't do those two things, I understand. But at the very least, please subscribe.
Tell your cousin about it if you can't do that.
If you, tell your cousin and tell your mama, please. That's and don't just tell them, just have them subscribe, please. And if they don't want to subscribe, we ask that you subscribe. Please subscribe to the podcast. We don't take y'all listening to us for granted. And we will see you beautiful people again with another great episode next week.